What is up, guys? Welcome back to another LandVision Studios Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to add materials and textures to the Cube Grid. Previous tutorial I showed you guys how to use the Cube Grid tool. So to get started, I'm just going to start on a new level as always. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and go up to the modeling tab, and I'm just going to make a quick little house. You can actually do this with the box, sphere, cylinder, cone, and all that other stuff. But today I'm going to show you guys how to do it with the Cube Grid. So let's do this. Let's make a little house real quick. Okay, so we have a house, and it's not perfect. It's just a simple little house. I'm going to show you guys how to add textures to it real quick. Let's get started. We're going to go down to Attributes. We're going to go to the Material Editor. Just click on it, and you'll get some settings here, and we'll go into these in just a second. So what I want to do first is actually go to the brush size, and I'm going to set it to something like 0.1 just to make it a lot smaller. And you see how small it is now? We actually want to get it even smaller than that. So we have the smallest cursor we can possibly get. So how about 0.001? So now you see we have this really small cursor, and you'll see when I paint on this object, it will turn a different color. What that's doing is selecting the object to be painted. So it's not actually painting the object, it's just selecting it. What I want you to do is just select the outside wall here. Now your house might not look exactly like mine, so I'm just going to show you guys how to do the walls and the roofs. Pretty much everything else is self-explanatory and works the same way. So once you have your wall selected, I want you to go look for an asset that would look good for the walls. So what this actually will allow us to do is paint on the outside of the walls and the inside of the walls separately. So we'll be able to add two different materials here. For the first material, I think we'll just add bricks to keep it simple. So we're going to go into our Quixel Bridge Mixer. Make sure you're signed in and type in bricks. I like this brick wall here. It's pretty detailed. It looks pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. And while that's downloading, we're going to take a quick look at these settings. So to add a material to these settings, we're going to go down here to the Materials tab. And you'll see Active Material. Right now we don't have any selected. When you come down to this drop-down menu for materials, you'll see that you can add materials here in this section. So what we want to do is actually add this brick to this materials section. So how can we do that? We're just going to click Add, find a material, and drag it over. Now you'll see that it's added the brick to the object. So your first material will be your base material. So keep that in mind. So we're going to actually adjust this material to look a little bit better later. We're going to go ahead and add our materials first. So since the outside walls are going to be brick, we're going to go ahead and let this first material be the outside walls. So next, what you need to do is the roofs. So we're going to go into Quixel Bridge. We're going to search for something for roof. Let's go to surfaces, roofing, and for a house like this, I just want a basic slate roof, so I'm going to download this one. So what we're going to do to add this material, we're going to actually go to materials here and see this plus add element. Click on that. Now we're just going to drag that material into the second part. Okay, so you won't actually see this material until you paint it on the object. So you can always do this in different orders if you want, but we're going to do it in this one. So let's go ahead and paint our roof. And it makes it pretty simple for us. There's not a whole lot of polygons in the cube grid tool. Make sure you're painting all of the roof. Okay, now that we have all of our roofs selected, we're actually going to have to change the active material to make it work. So select it here in the drop-down menu, Slate Roof. And now, it's still not done. You actually want to come down to the bottom here where it says Material Edits and assign the active material. So just click it. And now you'll see that it's put it on my roof. Pretty cool. Now you're probably wondering why this looks a little funny. So we're actually going to do one more section to finish this off, as there's not really a whole lot of parts to the building. So we're going to do these inside walls here, and it actually won't take us very long. So what I actually want to do is go back into my Quixel bridge, and this time we're going to look for something for a wall. Go to surfaces, I think I want to make this house have wood walls on the inside. So we're going to do veneer. I'm going to go ahead and download that and give it a second. While that's downloading, we can go ahead and add another material here and wait for it to download. We just click add, go back into our content browser, and drag it over. And you can do this for different rooms if you want. You don't have to do all of the rooms the same color. We're just going to go ahead and paint this wall. And again, make sure you're getting all of the walls. This would just be for that room. Okay, so for that first room, now if you don't have multiple rooms, just ignore this step. But I'm going to show you guys how to do multiple rooms. So of course we have the wood texture, so we're going to go ahead and assign that. So we have to make sure that we change it in the active material. And click assign. And now the wall texture has been put on the wall. So we're going to go ahead and do concrete for the rest of the walls. I think just a plain wallpaper. Now you could add wallpapers and stuff or whatever kind of images you want in this. I'm just showing you guys with the Quixel Bridge assets as they're the easiest to use for beginners. But of course you can use any kind of textures or materials you want for these assets. So I'm going to see if I can find wallpaper. Let's do this dirty painted wall and click download. Alright, while that's downloading, we're going to go ahead and add another material here. And we can go ahead and select it there if you want. Let's change up the order a little bit just to see if we can make it a little bit faster. So we're going to go ahead and select none there. So it's already selected for us for the active material. So we're going to click add and go into our content browser. Okay. Now we just want to take the wall and put it there. Alright, so let's go ahead and paint this first room here concrete. And if you want, you could leave some of it brick. You don't have to make the whole thing concrete. I think I might make some sections just to show you that you can change it up however you like. Okay. And honestly, let's go ahead and do this room as well. And for this room, I'm going to go ahead and do the inside edges of this doorway. And honestly, I think all the ceilings, we'll go ahead and make those concrete as well. So if you wanted to make those separate materials, of course you would just make them into separate materials. But I'm going to go ahead and make the ceilings concrete. Okay, I think I might make the front of this building concrete as well. Now if you want to erase stuff that you have painted, just hit the shift button down while you're painting. It will deselect it. We're going to go ahead and do that concrete. And we're going to go ahead and assign that concrete painted wall. See, it's already assigned in the active material ready for us. So we're just going to click assign. And we're going to hit accept on this. We're pretty much done with painting this house for now. Let's see what we can do with it as far as fixing the textures and materials. As you can see, it's added our textures to the walls and the ceiling. Missed a spot, so we're going to go and fix that real quick. So I'm just going to do that whole section there, and we'll just make that the brick wall and assign that the active material and click accept. And there we go. Now you can always change this later on. Okay, so we're going to try to make these textures wrap a little bit better to the UV. So we're going to go ahead and go into project. Alright, so you'll see it's looking a little funny. So we're going to adjust some settings here. What I want you to do is go to UV projection. We're going to set this to box. You can also play around with the other things if you think they might look better, but I usually go with box. That's for 3D objects. So now you see it's already looking a little better and everything's kind of going how it should be. It's still a little big, but we're going to fix that now. Okay, so what I want you to do to adjust this is go down to the UV transform. And it's pretty much like tiling, guys. In the last tutorial, I showed you guys a little bit about tiling and how to add textures and materials to your objects. Well, this works pretty much the same way. So this is pretty much the tile here, and that's how I kind of look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and set it to something like 5 and 5 and see what that does. So as you see, the bricks have kind of gotten smaller, and we can kind of adjust these how we want them to be. If you want them to be even, of course, you could do that. But in this case, I'm going to see what I can do as far as getting them a little bit different. There we go. As you can see, it's also fixed the tiling on the roof, but the roof tiling on the top is still kind of short. So how can we fix that? We could go up to the UV projection dimensions up here and find which one the top is. So now we spread it out to make it look a little bit better there. So you'll just have to tamper with these settings here until you get the look that you're looking for. If it's still not fitting right, you could try using the auto fit actions. From there, we'll just go ahead and try to adjust it again. I actually don't like this concrete, so we're going to go ahead and fix that real quick. I'm going to go back into my modeling tab, select my object, material editor, and just paint back over that. And click assign and accept. Alright, there we go. That looks a lot better. I think that was just throwing it off with the concrete. So now what I want to do is go ahead and bump my scalability up to high and see what it looks like with better quality. Let's go ahead and adjust the lighting here a little bit. Let's add some lights to see how we can make this look. All right, and there we go. We have a nice little brick floor there. All right, guys, that is how you add materials and textures to the cube grid. This also works again for most other shapes that you're using in modeling mode, so don't worry about that. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, please join me on my Discord channel if you have any questions about these tutorials. I'd be happy to help, and I'd be happy to meet you guys and talk to you guys a little bit about what you're doing in Unreal Engine. I'm very curious to know what everybody else is doing, yes. So if you guys want to maybe leave your work there, you can also share your work to that Discord channel. And I would love to grow that community more, and we can help each other out, get a little bit better at Unreal Engine every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Stay tuned for my next ones. I may do a series on the new Fortnite Creative. It just came out the other day, and you should definitely check it out, as it's good beginner practice to be able to just work in it and see what a professional interface looks like. But anyways, I will see you guys on those next tutorials, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Peace. So this will actually be my last beginner tutorial for Unreal Engine 5. We will be moving into the intermediate tutorials here in the next few weeks. We'll be doing a new series on Adobe products like Premiere Pro, After Effects, things like that, maybe even Unity and Blender. But we'll get into that stuff later. I'll see you guys next time.